And before we head across the Tasman, I wanted to talk to Craig Thompson initially about the proposed handicapping changes. I understand from the 1st of August it's going to be trialled in the North a points-based system.
Well, they're meeting today, Andrew Morris with a couple of members from the board and Alexandra Park. Now, I presume this is predominantly a northern issue. I mean, it's going to affect the southern issue as well, but this is northern-based problem at the moment. It's horse numbers we've got up here. They're looking at running a point system, so every horse will be, from the 1st of August, given a ranking. And I think they need to trial it, Greg. I'm not saying it's the issue. I'm not saying that this is going to work, but the situation we've got at the moment with open nominations we've trialled for 2 years isn't working either. We just don't have the horse numbers. We're trying to keep more horses in New Zealand. I don't know if that'll work either, but I think we've got to do something. I think it's a step in the right direction. We'll find out more probably in 12 months' time.
The thing, I won't dwell on this for too long, Michael, the thing that worries me about this is in our current handicapping system, there is the ability to put conditions on races, so surely we have the ability to handicap them somewhat ourselves.
I don't know enough about it, Greg, but I'm with you. If they nominate 20 maidens for Alexandra Park, I think the club should be smart enough to go, that's the best 10, that's the weaker 10, chuck them in 2 races. Why people don't want to race for the best money? Is it a fear that the times are too quick? They go 2:39 for 2200 at Cambridge too. I don't know what the answer is to a lot of these equations. I'm not sure the point system will help. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch it be trialled because it doesn't affect me.
Speaking of horsemen, the Waikato horsemen are about to acknowledge those trainers and drivers over 80. Robbie Hughes has put that together along with the committee there at Harness Racing Waikato. Good luck to them. Hope it goes well. Of course, they're going to have the likes of John Butcher, Charlie Hunter, some of the great names in our game. Brian Macy will be there.
Great move.
29th of May it is.
Great move. You know, so often you wait till people are gone or you haven't seen them for a long time.
That's part of their motivation.
Yeah. And just this week, Craig, Bruce Lloyd, lovable guy, great guy from Kumu, passed away. He's a guy who I wish I had seen at a function a bit more in the last couple of years, and obviously our condolences go to his wife. They were a very close couple. Good guy, Bruce.
Yep.
Sort of guy that if you had 1,000 more of him in the harness racing industry, it'd be a better place.
Absolutely. I think he trained about 67 winners in his career, 35 years it spanned, and he passed away sadly on Monday, so condolences to the Lloyd family. Probably a few of the good ones out there, Greg, that people would have remembered. Can You Watch Over Me? I think Rocky Evander won about 6.
I'm a Naughty Boy.
I'm a Naughty Boy.
Yeah.
And I think Hanover the Gold wasn't a bad mare either. So he had some handy trotters, but a sad time for the family, and we pass on our condolences.
Yep, that we certainly do. Mentioned before we were going to head across the ditch. We're heading there to see this horse. Of course, Waikiki Beach, he's known here in New Zealand. He's doing our business no harm over there, Michael.
Yep, this is Newcastle last week. He paid $1.04, which probably seems pretty fair, but then again, Arms of an Angel was $1.04 on Friday too, and she got beat. Just Bolton. There's Johnny McCarthy sitting in the sulky because Luke was driving out of town. Smashed them. That's 17, fellas. So the countdown we mentioned last week towards probably the biggest winning streak we all think about in racing in this country, the 24 of Courage Under Fire, begins. Drawn barrier 1 this week at Menangle on Saturday night. It's actually nice and early. It's before 9 o'clock New Zealand time, so you can catch that. Up against Cyclone Kate, slightly better field, C3 to C5, but he'll probably be winning that. Then he gets into the Breeders' Challenge heats. He'll be hot favourite for those. That's heat semi-final. Says 3, takes you to 21 if he wins all those. Then you start talking Breeders' Crown against his own age group. Maybe the Queensland Derby. So there's lots to look forward. Look at the stats, fellas. No placings for him. 17 from 17. Then you start saying to yourself, well, where does this stand among the greats, Greg? And we've got a few of the greats, and not many have gone past 17.
Yeah, well, he's got 4 Group 1s in the bank thus far, and you've collated a top 5, I suppose, for want of a better term. Gee, there's been some good horses amongst these ones.
It's remarkable. I went back to the top 5 winning streaks here. Some of the ones I thought might be in there who weren't. Alva Colo's winning streak, which he ended, was only 12. Christian Cullen got as far as 14, but he then got injured and came back and got beaten in the race at Oamaru. So it was one of those strange ones. Let's go back to horses you will remember and the days you wish you couldn't remember. Auckland Reactor, standing start. Cambridge, January 16, 2009. Look, great call from Aaron White. Let's get it. Auckland Reactor, of course, in the Harness Jewels colours. The horse in front of him, All Tiger.
The Cavalier and Saffin, All Tiger for home. Auckland Reactor, the son of Mark III's trying hard. Then the Cavalier, All Tiger. Come on, Auckland Reactor, the outside, he's trying. All Tiger's got him though. All Tiger's going to down the champ. Old Tiger's got the Group 2 Jardine Bloodstock Insurance 4-year-old. The standing start got Auckland Reactor. He's second.
Well, that was Aaron White channeling Jimmy Jakes. Great call, and he wanted him to win, didn't we all? But he didn't. The standing start Hoodoo got him, so look, a lot of fun, that one there. Then we get on to the trotters.
I Can Do's It.
I Can Do's It, so from the same stable as Auckland Reactor. And again,
same venue.
Cambridge was the one, and this one he rolled into a gallop at the start, and you just can't be giving Stig a start of 155. There's Auckland Reactor in the brick and bloodstock colours in 4th spot.
50 to go, Stig will go to Escapee. Sovereignty and I Can Do's It, 100 to go, and Stig and Davey, but he's going to draw away. Here's another well-deserved winner for the mighty Stig, and it's the Group 2, Group 1 Turf Bar Trotters flying mile to Stig. Second Escapee, third over was Sovereignty. Well, I Can Do's It, the run stops at 18.
Yeah, won by a great horse. Of course, Escapee was second, and Sovereignty, who loved his home track as well. Yeah, he almost looked like he career over material inside the first 100 metres.
Craig, he looked like he'd broken down at the start of that race, and there were concerns. He actually came out about 10 days later, ran second, actually a week later, ran second to Stig again in the national trot. But gee, he was a hell of a horse. I Can Do's It. Unlike some of these younger horses we're talking about, virtually most of those big wins were at the absolute top level.
Yeah, I was there on that day, and he was so short on the tote, obviously that sequence of wins. And when the mobile left, he drew the front, and he just dropped off the gate, and he couldn't look like he could trot. And probably the first 400 metres, he got further and further behind. I mean, I only saw the last 400 metres there, but he was probably 20 lengths off them, Greg, I reckon, at around about the 1,000
He was
metre mark.
$1.20 the second favourite, was Stig at $7. So, yeah, amazing price there. Take a moment. We haven't got footage of him getting beaten, but pretty smart he did beat him that day.
Yeah, 18 in a row for Take a Moment. Look, I think Take a Moment was a little bit lucky. He didn't race in a great era because his old buddy Lyle Creek had turned up and then left to go to Sweden and on to North America. So he beat a lot of very good horses, probably didn't beat too many champions. Went to the Valley and finished third behind Something About Mari, who was a very good horse. And look, Take a Moment, I think, might have been one of the best trained horses in New Zealand and actually had pacer like speed. So he got 18 as well. So another one for the trotters, getting 18 there. Then we get in to the big two. No one who saw this is going to forget this one, boys. Lyle Creek, Addington, back in the day. And remarkably, Dan Malecki, the man who cursed two of our great horses. There's the champ sitting in the trail, and we'll let Dan, the man, pick it up.
Then Sunny Action, Solar Fire, JBR. Sundowner Bay into the straight lead. Sundon's Way, here comes the freak. Lyle Creek driving through. Sundowner Bay in front. It's Lyle Creek, Sunny Action coming through. Lyle Creek in front. Sunny Action trying to get to him. Lyle Creek in front, though he's lifting. Sunny Action driving, he galloped, and the world has ended. It's all over Red Rover, and Sunny Action has blown them apart. Sunny Action's got through and...
Yeah, and there's GAV Bruton, who was so generous with his time right throughout his career, including that day. I showed great admiration for him that day, Michael, because he fronted up, bang, straight with the media and said, that's life.
Yep, not much you can do about it. That was back in the day where one punter in New Zealand was putting $10,000 each start on Lyle Creek, which doesn't sound that much money now because we have so many big fixed odds punters, but at the time it was a big deal in New Zealand racing. And yeah, when he got beat, it was almost like, what just happened there? He obviously bounced back and went on to be a great horse way past that. No one's ever explained to me exactly what happened there, Craig, but as a punter, and for people like you and I who like to have a sizable bet on things, you've always got to know there's that 10% tucked away somewhere called bad luck, which can just happen. I suppose that's all you can put that down to.
Especially when he'd hit the front at the 200 metre mark. He looked like he was just coasting, and it was a shame. But I mean, it had to go it had to end somewhere. It ended that day with poor old Dan calling.
Yeah,
Which he was.
He was.
Also, when Courage Under Fire, 24 wins on in, a 4-year-old broke into open class, was just starting to get ready for the really serious stuff into Dominions. Raced at Moody Valley.
This was a heat, wasn't it?
A heat of the Inter Dominion. Set Park, we haven't got footage of it, sadly, which is unfortunate. And look, I've got views on this. I think a lot of our footage should be more accessible for the great races, whether it's us or whether it's Sky Channel in Australia, because this is the history of our industry, and it's really important. It should be on YouTube. All the major group races should be on YouTube. This responsibility, it's not us. This is Sky Channel, had their footage. They own this coverage. It should be done by harness racing bosses in both countries to say, let's get this there, because if someone said to you in 1973 cricket test between New Zealand and England, wasn't available on TV, or we lost the footage for the All Blacks 1987 World Cup win, you'd be furious.
Yeah.
So we should make sure these things are available to people going forward. We haven't got this, but fellas, I'm sure you and the people
Mighty
at
Mouse.
home can remember the Mighty Mouse's first defeat.
Yeah, exactly. 6 derbies were amongst that 24,
Yeah,
of course.
and of course for Greg Brodie and of course for Bruce Negus. A little pocket rocket by in the pocket, wasn't he? And Mighty Mouse, I think they called him.
So the
Greg.
question starts, fellas, Waikiki Beach. I mean, let's look at these 5 great horses who have got beaten. You wouldn't put Waikiki Beach in these horses' calibre. So will he get to 24?
Well,
That's
he's
the
got
easy
a great
question.
chance.
Will he get to 24?
Well, he's got a great chance because he's predominantly racing the same horses that he raced as a 2-year-old in Australia. He's going to go through the Breeders' Challenge, obviously to the Breeders' Crown as well. He can easily pick off another couple of 3. We might be talking about that streak at the end of the season.
We should open a book on this.
Yeah, be very interesting. And it brings up another question. I mean, if he gets to 24, is he the best thrower on the country? I mean,
No.
no, he's not.
And here's
but
what, here's
he's
what
going to
will
get to
matter. The voting for Horse of the Year will be done long before he gets to 24.
No, he couldn't win there. Not in my opinion. Anyway,
Agreed.
move along. We'll get on to Arms of an Angel, who of course is the very, very hot favourite to win, the first Australian to win a duel over here. Here's the score up, Michael. We've seen this before at this venue.
This is Friday afternoon. She's $1.04. This is not how $1.04 horses are supposed to go unless they're gallopers. She pressed the go button, Lauren. Once she actually got pacing, she actually surged forward in the middle stages, Craig. But look, I tell you what, that's the concern. You and Aaron raised this last Thursday night on Under the Lights. If she goes to Cambridge and loses her rag like this, then yeah, the $1.55 is not going to be value.
Well, it's not, and it was $1.45, I believe, Michael, when they opened the odds. So she's drifted 10 cents out because of this indiscretion. Greg,
Watch this. She launches this
She
horse
does, and
straight away.
Oh, this is the major concern I have, and I know this will get back to them, and they'll end up not probably talking to me. But Lauren Pearson has no
Lauren Pinella.
Lauren Pinella, sorry, Lauren Pearson. Lauren Pinella has no idea of pace. She's just caught that field, run around them, in 27.5 she went from the 8 to the 400. So why would you do that, Fresher? What
My only
would you be
explanation,
thinking?
my explanation would be she was obviously angry the horse had galloped and thought, I'll show you. That's what it felt
why
like.
would you do that?
Where do they go, Michael, after here? I mean, I understand she's not going to race again. She's
Couple
got
of
trials. So is that an ideal preparation, a gallop and then 2 trials leading into a trip to here?
I think she's good enough to get away with it because this isn't a great bunch of mares. Would she be good enough to get away with it over there too, finishing 3rd, by the way, over the Orange Agent or Fight for Glory? Maybe not. But simple as this. Don't bet into this market yet. Let's wait. We'll keep you up to speed with the trials. We'll try and show you them to you.
Yeah.
We'll see how the whole thing percolates.
Nobody has a question mark over her ability. She showed us that in the Miracle Mile, of course. I still can't get it out of my head. C2 beaten at Cambridge.
Yeah.
I just can't get it out of my
And
head.
also 2 gallops now and 3 starts. There is a question mark there. I said to Michael on Friday, is it a habit? He said no, but 2 out of 3 is a worry. I mean, and it's in the score up, drawing handy. I'm a bit worried.
It's a good talking point, and it adds to the intrigue, of course, for the Harness Jewels. Speaking of the Harness Jewels, great things happened. Spoke to Gavin Smith a couple of weeks ago. Not really interested. Off the back of this performance, Michael, maybe.
Look, again, and beats Harry de Mott here, and this is another one of those horses who you think, OK, it's going forward. Some of the others are getting a bit tired. This is it coming up the passing lane now. Harry de Mott's 3rd favourite or 2nd favourite in the Monbay out market. So look, this horse has come a long way in a short time, and this one's by Love You, isn't it? They look the same, they drop the same. Gee,
he's a very, very good horse. He actually reminds me a little bit of Monbay because I think he's a speed horse over a stamina horse. And Gavin does drive him that way, can drive him a little bit pretty, but that's because he's got the speed to get a very quick pickup. On Harriet of Mott there, 1.5 miles and 2:58. Lost nothing out of that race. First up, and she'll go to this week.
Yep, well, it's a really interesting race, and we'll have a look at that a little bit later on. Don't forget about the PGG Rights and sale tomorrow, being Thursday, the all-aged and mixed sale, and of course the same thing at Cambridge the night before the Jewels on the 3rd. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, catch up with a couple of the country's most outstanding trainers in the last 15 years.